Love, a precious gift, but also a challenging journey. Have you ever felt lost in your relationships? Or wondered how to build a lasting and happy love? There's something irresistibly powerful about a woman who doesn't chase, who simply lives, breathes, and radiates confidence in her own skin. She's not desperate for attention, nor is she playing games. She knows her worth, and that quiet knowing draws people in. The truth is, you don't have to try hard to make a man chase you. When you carry yourself with intention, joy, and self-respect, the right kind of man will naturally be drawn to you. Not because you demanded his attention, but because you inspired it. Welcome to the channel, Sophia's Knowledge, and my name is Sophia. This is where we share lessons about love, practical experiences, and secrets to building strong relationships. In today's video, Sophia will reveal to you 7 ways to make men chase you without trying too hard. If you are looking for a deeper understanding of love and how to develop relationships, don't miss this video. Before watching the video, find a quiet space and put on your headphones so you can feel every word I share. Relax and enjoy this journey with me. Are you ready to embark on this journey? Let's go. Way number 1. Know your worth. The quiet power that makes men chase you. There is something irresistibly magnetic about a woman who knows her worth. She doesn't need to shout, compete, or chase. Her presence speaks volumes, not because she's trying too hard, but because she's deeply in tune with who she is. And that, more than anything, is what draws men to her. In a world that often encourages women to mold themselves into what others want, knowing your worth becomes a quiet rebellion, and a powerful one. When you carry yourself with self-respect and unshakable confidence, you naturally attract people who respect and admire you. Especially men. But what does it really mean to know your worth? And how can you embody it in a way that effortlessly inspires pursuit, admiration, and genuine connection? Let's break it down. Knowing your worth means you don't beg for attention. A woman who knows her worth doesn't seek validation from anyone. She doesn't anxiously wait by the phone for a text. She doesn't need to post overly curated photos for approval. She knows her value exists independently of who notices it. She is her own source of validation. When you stop trying to prove your value, people start noticing it on their own. There's something mysterious and compelling about a woman who isn't desperate for attention. She becomes the one everyone wants to understand, to impress, to pursue. You set standards, not ultimatums. Knowing your worth doesn't mean being arrogant or inflexible. It means having standards that reflect how you see yourself. You're not afraid to walk away from someone who can't meet them, not out of spite, but out of self-respect. Standards are not a list of demands. They're a reflection of your inner belief that you deserve respect, effort, consistency, and care. And when you live by those standards without trying to force someone to meet them, you naturally filter out those who don't align with you, and attract those who do. You're not afraid to be alone. One of the strongest signs of self-worth is the ability to enjoy your own company. When a woman embraces solitude, she becomes untouchable. She isn't seeking a relationship out of loneliness or fear of being single. She seeks it because she knows what she has to offer, and she's waiting for someone who truly complements her life. Ironically, this independence is incredibly attractive. Men are drawn to women who are complete on their own, because they know they're not being chosen out of need, but out of genuine desire. You don't settle for anything less than what you deserve. Too many women shrink themselves to fit into relationships, accepting breadcrumbs of love and calling it a feast. But a woman who knows her worth doesn't settle. She's not afraid to say, "This isn't enough for me," and walk away with grace and confidence. This doesn't mean expecting perfection. It means recognizing the difference between someone who adds value to your life and someone who drains it. You deserve more than half love, inconsistent effort, or conditional affection, and knowing your worth empowers you to demand more by simply not entertaining less. You carry yourself with quiet confidence. true confidence is never loud. It doesn't need to be. It shows up in the way you speak, how you move, how you make decisions. A woman who knows her worth doesn't compare herself to others or compete for attention. She celebrates other women, uplifts people around her, and radiates inner peace. This kind of energy is contagious. It pulls people in, especially men, because it signals emotional maturity, self-assuredness, and strength. When you carry yourself this way, you don't need to ask someone to value you, they simply will. You know what you bring to the table. Many women downplay their strengths, afraid of being too much. But a woman who knows her worth never dims her light to make others feel comfortable. She knows her intelligence, her kindness, her ambition, her sense of humor, and she embraces all of it. And when you know what you bring to the table, you're not afraid to eat alone. That energy shifts the dynamic entirely. You're no longer trying to win someone over. You're evaluating whether they deserve a seat at your table. In the end, knowing your worth isn't about playing games or being cold. It's about living with authenticity, intention, and self-respect. It's about choosing yourself, not out of selfishness, but out of deep self-awareness. When you do that, something magical happens. You stop chasing people, and the right people start chasing you. Men are naturally drawn to a woman who is rooted in herself. Not because she's hard to get, but because she's hard to forget. Everyone has a different perspective, and I would love to hear your thoughts on this topic. Leave a comment below and let's discuss. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel to join me in the next videos. Let's continue together. Way number 2. Radiate positive energy. The secret ingredient men can't resist. There's something effortlessly attractive about a woman who lights up a room simply by being in it. She doesn't have to be the loudest, the most glamorous, or even the most outspoken. What makes her unforgettable is the energy she brings, calm, warm, magnetic. Her positivity isn't forced. It's genuine. And that is exactly what draws people, especially men, toward her. In a time when so many are stressed, distracted, or emotionally guarded, positive energy has become a rare and irresistible quality. It's not just about being cheerful all the time, it's about how you make others feel in your presence. And more importantly, how you make yourself feel. When a woman radiates positivity, it says something powerful about her emotional intelligence, her confidence, and the way she views the world. It shows that she's in control of her mindset, and that's a quiet kind of strength that men instinctively admire. So how can you embody this energy in a way that feels natural and empowering? Choose optimism, even when it's not easy. Positivity doesn't mean ignoring reality. It means choosing to see the possibilities instead of the problems. It's about being hopeful without being naive. A woman who practices optimism doesn't pretend everything is perfect. Instead, she chooses to focus on solutions, growth, and lessons. This perspective is incredibly attractive. It signals emotional maturity and strength. When men interact with a woman who isn't easily shaken by negativity, they feel safe, inspired, and drawn to her light. Become the source of good energy, not the reactor. Most people are emotional mirrors, they reflect whatever energy they receive. But truly magnetic women are different. They set the tone, instead of reacting to it. Their mood doesn't swing based on other people's actions, and they don't allow negativity to dictate their day. This level of emotional self-regulation is rare and powerful. When you're grounded in your own peace, people naturally gravitate toward you. You become a safe space in a chaotic world. And to men, that is more attractive than any appearance or status. Practice gratitude daily. Gratitude is the heartbeat of positive energy. When a woman constantly acknowledges what's going well in her life, no matter how small, it creates a sense of abundance. She doesn't carry a spirit of lack, bitterness, or comparison. She walks through life with appreciation, and it shows. Men are drawn to women who enjoy their lives. Someone who finds joy in the little things, laughs often, and doesn't take herself too seriously becomes a refreshing presence. She isn't chasing happiness, she's creating it. Speak life, not complaints. The words you choose shape your energy. A woman who radiates positivity is intentional about her language. She uplifts conversations instead of bringing them down with gossip or constant complaints. She compliments others sincerely, shares ideas, and knows how to listen with genuine curiosity. When you speak with light, you invite light in return. Men feel more confident, more seen, and more open around a woman who brings warmth into conversations. She becomes unforgettable, not because she said something shocking, but because she made them feel good just by talking to her. Take care of your inner world. Positive energy starts from within. A woman who radiates joy and peace doesn't do so by accident. She works on herself. She sets boundaries, prioritizes self-care, and knows how to recharge her spirit. She understands that what's happening inside her will eventually reflect outwardly. Whether it's journaling, meditating, moving her body, or simply getting enough rest, she tends to her emotional well-being. That inner balance shines through her smile, her posture, her tone. It's not something she tries to create, it's something she becomes. Make others feel seen. One of the most overlooked signs of positive energy is how a woman makes others feel in her presence. When she's kind, present, and genuinely interested in people, she becomes magnetic. Not because she's trying to impress anyone, but because she treats others with respect and care. Men are especially drawn to this type of woman because she makes them feel comfortable enough to be themselves. In a world that often rewards superficiality, her authenticity stands out. Her energy tells them, "Here, you can relax. You don't have to perform. You can just be. Laugh, play, and stay open." Radiating positivity also means keeping a playful spirit alive. Life isn't meant to be lived in constant seriousness. A woman who can laugh at herself, make light of awkward situations, and stay open to fun becomes unforgettable. She doesn't worry about looking perfect, she focuses on being real. Her lightheartedness doesn't make her any less deep, it makes her even more appealing. Men are naturally drawn to women who know how to enjoy the moment without overthinking it. In the end, it's not about being happy all the time. No one is. But a woman who chooses to carry positive energy, even on hard days, becomes a light in a world full of noise. She doesn't chase attention, it comes to her. She doesn't force connections, they flow to her naturally. Men can't help but want to be around her. Not just because of how she looks, but because of how she makes them feel. Safe. Inspired. At ease. Intrigued. That's the kind of energy that doesn't just attract a man, it keeps him coming back. If you are still watching the video, do not hesitate to comment continue. Leave your thoughts and questions below in the comment section, I look forward to hearing your opinions, and do not forget to like and subscribe to the channel so that Sophia has more motivation to create more good and meaningful videos. Let's continue together. Way number 3. Putting just enough effort into your appearance. There's an undeniable power in the woman who looks put together without appearing like she tried too hard. She's not overly done up, nor is she careless. She's intentional. Every detail, from the way she styles her hair to how she carries herself, suggests self-respect, not vanity. It's this balance that captivates. It's what makes her stand out. Men, contrary to what some might think, are highly perceptive of this. They're drawn to women who take care of themselves, not because they conform to trends or ideals, but because they radiate a quiet kind of confidence. A woman who is effortlessly polished doesn't need to demand attention, she receives it without asking. So what does it really mean to put just enough effort into your appearance? And how can you master this art in a way that feels authentic and magnetic? Your appearance should reflect self-respect, not perfection. The key to attractive style isn't flawless makeup or designer clothes, it's intention. When a woman dresses with care, she communicates something deeper, that she values herself enough to present her best to the world. It's not about seeking validation. It's about self-respect. This doesn't mean you need to be runway ready every day. It means knowing what looks good on you, what makes you feel confident, and embracing your personal style. The woman who dresses for herself, not for trends, not for approval, always stands out. Find your signature look. You don't need a closet full of clothes to look great. In fact, some of the most stylish women wear variations of the same outfit over and over, because they know what works for them. Maybe it's a crisp white shirt and tailored jeans. Maybe it's flowy dresses in neutral tones. Whatever it is, it's about consistency and self-expression. Men are often less concerned with fashion itself and more captivated by a woman who clearly knows who she is. A consistent, well-chosen style creates that impression instantly. Embrace grooming as a form of care. Details matter. Clean nails, soft skin, fresh breath, a subtle scent, these are the quiet cues of a woman who is in tune with herself. You don't need a full spa routine or luxury products. The goal isn't extravagance. It's attentiveness. Men may not always articulate it, but they notice. The scent you leave behind, the smoothness of your hair, the glow of your skin, these little things leave lasting impressions. When done with subtlety, they become part of your aura, not just your appearance. Less is often more. One of the most attractive traits is restraint. Whether it's makeup, accessories, or outfits, the ability to edit shows sophistication. Overdoing anything sends the message that you're trying to impress. Doing just enough says that you already know you are impressive. Natural, minimal makeup that enhances your features often creates more impact than heavy layers. Understated jewelry can elevate a look without overwhelming it. The art lies in choosing what to highlight, and letting the rest breathe. Your body language is part of your appearance. Looking good isn't just about clothes and cosmetics. How you sit, how you walk, how you hold eye contact, these things speak just as loudly. A woman who holds herself with confidence, whose movements are graceful and intentional, always appears more attractive. Body language is the visual extension of self-worth. It's not about being rigid or rehearsed. It's about moving with awareness, owning your space, and being present in your body. Dress for the life you want. This doesn't mean dressing in fantasy, but rather in aspiration. When you put effort into your appearance, even when no one's watching, you send a message to yourself. I am ready for more. For better. For something aligned with who I truly am. Whether you're headed to the grocery store or out for dinner, looking polished changes how people perceive you, and how you perceive yourself. You never know who you'll meet, what opportunity will arise, or what moment will become memorable. Be ready for it, not out of pressure, but out of possibility. Confidence is the finishing touch. You can have the best outfit, perfect makeup, and a flawless hairstyle, but without confidence, none of it matters. The real magnetism comes from within. When you feel good in your skin, when you know you've made an effort for you, not for anyone else, that's when you glow. Men respond to this self-assurance more than anything else. They're drawn to the energy of a woman who knows she looks good, not because someone told her so, but because she chose to show up for herself. In the end, it's not about impressing, it's about expressing. The most beautiful women are not the ones who chase perfection. They're the ones who've made peace with who they are, who use style as a way to express joy, power, playfulness, and identity. When you care for your appearance with intention and balance, you tell the world, and yourself, that you are worthy of being seen. And that message is powerful. It turns heads, sparks interest, and lingers in memory long after you've left the room. Way number 4. Let him take the lead. The power of soft control and attraction. In today's world, where independence and assertiveness are rightly celebrated, the idea of letting a man take the lead can feel outdated, even controversial. But there is a distinct difference between surrendering your power and choosing, intentionally, to lean back. Letting him lead doesn't mean giving up control, it means knowing when to hold it and when to let it go. The truth is, masculine energy thrives on purpose, direction, and pursuit. When a woman allows space for that energy to express itself, she creates a dynamic that sparks attraction on a deep, almost instinctual level. She becomes the woman he wants to impress, cherish, and win over, not because she's playing games, but because she understands the balance of effort and elegance. So how does a woman lean back without appearing disinterested? How does she create space for pursuit without losing her sense of self? It's an art. And one you can master with clarity and confidence. Initiate less, respond more. One of the most powerful ways to shift the dynamic is to resist the urge to constantly initiate contact, plans, or conversations. When a man is interested, he will make an effort. Allow him that opportunity. Too often, women try to help things along by filling in the gaps, sending the first message, planning the next date, steering every interaction. But in doing so, they unintentionally take away a man's natural desire to pursue. Responding warmly, openly, and appreciatively when he reaches out is enough. When a man feels that his effort is noticed and welcomed, he's far more likely to continue. The less you chase, the more he has space to. Don't micromanage the connection. Letting him lead also means giving up the need to control how the relationship unfolds. You don't need to analyze every detail, seek constant reassurance, or force clarity before it's time. Allow the connection to evolve naturally. This doesn't mean tolerating disrespect or ignoring red flags. It means trusting that what's meant for you will not require you to chase, manipulate, or convince. The right man will want to move things forward. Let him show you. Lean into your feminine energy. Feminine energy is receptive, intuitive, and grounded in emotion. It's not passive, it's powerful in a different way. When you relax into your feminine essence, you naturally invite masculine energy to meet you. This dynamic creates polarity, which fuels attraction. Let him make the plans. Let him pick the restaurant. Let him open the door, if he offers. These small moments of leadership aren't about submission, they're about allowing space for effort and direction. You don't have to do everything. Sometimes, the most attractive thing you can do is simply be open, present, and receptive. Embrace mystery, not manipulation. There's a difference between being mysterious and playing games. Mystery is natural. It's the result of a life that's full, engaging, and self-driven. You don't need to over-explain yourself or rush to be completely understood. You don't have to reveal everything at once. Let him be curious. Let him ask questions. Let him wonder what you're up to when you're not around. When you give someone everything up front, your time, attention, vulnerability, you remove the thrill of discovery. Letting him lead means letting him earn those parts of you, step by step. Hold your standards, not ultimatums. A woman who lets a man lead does not let go of her standards. She simply doesn't force them. She doesn't say, "If you don't do this, I'm gone." She quietly removes herself if something doesn't align. That kind of self-respect doesn't need dramatic declarations, it's communicated through action. You can let a man take the lead while still being discerning. If he stops showing up, you don't chase. If he's inconsistent, you don't call it a mystery, you call it misalignment. Letting go of what's not right makes room for what is. And the man who truly sees your value will rise to meet it, not because you demanded it, but because you inspired it. Don't mistake silence for weakness. Leaning back isn't silence, it's strategy. It's the knowing that you don't need to force chemistry, pace, or emotion. When you stop overgiving, oversharing, and overexplaining, you give him the opportunity to step up. Your silence speaks volumes. It says, I trust myself. I don't need to rush this. I'm not afraid of the space between us, I'm observing how you fill it. That calm confidence is powerful. It makes a man reflect. It makes him act. It makes you unforgettable. Make him feel like the man. At the heart of all this is one truth: men want to feel like they are the man in a woman's life. They want to feel needed, not in a dependent way, but in a meaningful one. When you allow him to lead, support, protect, or provide in his own way, you give him purpose. It doesn't mean you can't be independent. It means you don't need to prove your independence at every turn. You're not less powerful for letting him help. You're simply wise enough to know that giving someone space to give to you is a form of strength, not weakness. In the end, letting him lead is not about control, it's about trust. Trust in yourself, trust in your worth, and trust in the natural flow of connection. When you stop trying to make everything happen, you make space for the right things to unfold. You become the woman who is pursued, not because you're playing hard to get, but because you're living with ease, depth, and quiet confidence. And that is the kind of woman a man doesn't just chase, he cherishes. Way number 5. Master the art of smart conversation. Speak in a way that makes him stay. There is a quiet allure in a woman who knows how to hold a conversation, not just any conversation, but one that sparks curiosity, creates connection, and leaves a lasting impression. Beauty may draw someone in, but it is the way you speak, listen, and engage that truly captivates. Smart conversation is not about showing off your intelligence, using big words, or dominating the discussion. It's about knowing how to communicate in a way that feels effortless, balanced, and emotionally intelligent. When a woman can speak with warmth and depth, ask the right questions, and leave space for silence when it matters, she becomes unforgettable. The ability to converse with grace and intention is one of the most powerful tools in attraction. Men may be visually stimulated, but they are emotionally hooked by how you make them feel, and much of that begins with your words. Here's how to master that art. Be present, not performative. There's a difference between truly engaging in a conversation and simply waiting for your turn to speak. A woman who is present in the moment listens with her whole body, her eyes, her expression, her energy. She's not distracted by her phone, not rehearsing what to say next. She's genuinely there. This kind of attentiveness is rare. In a world that moves fast, someone who slows down and gives her full attention creates a space that feels safe and magnetic. When you're present, people feel heard, and that feeling is unforgettable. Ask questions that go deeper. Small talk has its place, but it doesn't leave a lasting impression. If you want to stand out, move beyond surface-level questions. Instead of asking, "How was your day?" ask, "What part of your day made you feel the most alive?" Instead of, "What do you do for work?" ask, "What do you love most about what you do?" These kinds of questions invite depth and authenticity. They also signal that you're not just casually talking, you're genuinely interested. And when a man feels that kind of attention, he wants to give it back. Know when to share, and when to hold back. A smart conversationalist knows how to strike the right balance between vulnerability and mystery. You don't need to reveal everything at once. You don't need to overshare to seem real. Sometimes, a little restraint speaks volumes. Allow your story to unfold slowly. Let him ask. Let him be curious. This keeps the dynamic alive and keeps him engaged. When you reveal just enough to create connection, but hold back enough to create curiosity, you become someone he wants to keep learning about. Speak with intention, not to impress. You don't have to prove your intelligence to be taken seriously. You don't have to dominate the conversation to be heard. In fact, the most captivating women speak with intention, choosing words that reflect calm, clarity, and confidence. Avoid trying to impress with complexity. Simplicity is far more elegant. When you speak from a place of sincerity rather than strategy, people feel it. It's not what you say, it's how you say it that makes the difference. Use your voice as a tool of connection. Your voice, its tone, rhythm, and emotion, is one of your most powerful tools. A soft, steady, and expressive voice draws people in. It makes them lean in. It creates intimacy without saying anything overtly romantic. Pay attention to how you use your voice. Are you rushing? Are you speaking with tension? Or are you slowing down, creating space, and letting your energy come through? The sound of your voice can either create calm or chaos. Choose calm. Choose connection. Know when to be silent. Silence is not awkward unless you make it so. A smart woman understands the power of pausing. She's not afraid of stillness, because she knows it gives space for emotion to breathe. Silence can be mysterious. It can be powerful. It can be a moment of deep resonance. Don't feel the need to fill every gap. Sometimes the most intimate moments happen in the quiet between words. When you allow those spaces to exist, the conversation takes on a life of its own. Let your sense of humor shine through. Intelligence and humor are not mutually exclusive. In fact, they're incredibly complementary. A quick wit, playful teasing, or the ability to laugh at yourself creates instant charm. It shows that you don't take life, or yourself, too seriously. Men are drawn to women who make them feel good. Laughter is a shortcut to connection. A shared smile can dissolve tension, open doors, and create unforgettable memories. Don't be afraid to let that side of you show. In the end, it's not about talking, it's about connection. The women who captivate men in the long term are not the loudest or most eloquent. They're the ones who speak from a place of depth, warmth, and awareness. They're present. They're curious. They're intentional. When you know how to converse with confidence and heart, you invite someone into your world, not just with your words, but with your energy. And that invitation is not easily forgotten. You become the kind of woman who isn't just heard, you're remembered. Not just noticed, but truly felt. Way number 6. Your life doesn't revolve around him. The irresistible power of a woman with her own world. One of the most magnetic qualities a woman can have is a full, rich life that doesn't begin or end with any man. She's not waiting for someone to complete her. She's not reshaping herself to fit into someone else's world. She is already whole, and that wholeness is what makes her captivating. When a woman lives fully, pursuing her own passions, nurturing her friendships, building her career, taking care of her body, her mind, her soul, she becomes radiant. Not because she's trying to prove anything, but because her life is hers. And when a man enters her orbit, he doesn't become her sun, he simply adds light to an already brilliant universe. This isn't about playing hard to get. It's about being hard to forget. So how do you build that kind of life? How do you step into your own center, and stay there, even when you're deeply interested in someone? Let's break it down. Don't abandon your world when love enters it. It's easy to get swept up in romance. The excitement, the attention, the possibility of something beautiful. But the most common mistake women make is dropping everything, routines, friendships, goals, the moment a man shows interest. A woman with emotional depth and self-respect does the opposite. She stays rooted in the life she's worked to build. She still goes to her yoga class. She still meets her best friend for coffee. She still journals in the morning, hits her deadlines, and plans that solo trip she's always wanted to take. She doesn't wait for permission. She doesn't wait for him. This kind of steadiness creates respect. He doesn't see a woman who needs him to fill her calendar, he sees a woman who chooses where to place her time. That difference is powerful. Let him want to be part of your world. When you're truly living, when you're inspired, engaged, and fulfilled, you become the kind of person others are naturally drawn to. You don't have to chase attention. You don't have to demand time. People will want to be around your energy because it's real, it's refreshing, and it's grounded in something deeper than romance. Men are deeply attracted to women who have a sense of purpose beyond the relationship. It makes them curious. It keeps them engaged. It gives the connection space to grow organically, instead of being forced into existence. Let him earn a place in your life. Not because you're testing him, but because your life already has structure, meaning, and momentum, and you value that too much to interrupt it for someone who isn't serious. Prioritize your passions. Your interests are more than hobbies. They're a reflection of who you are and what makes your soul come alive. Whether it's painting, writing, hiking, cooking, volunteering, or building a business, your passions deserve your time and devotion. A woman who invests in her own joy becomes radiant. She doesn't rely on a relationship to give her excitement or purpose. She creates it for herself. And that kind of woman isn't just desirable, she's unforgettable. Men admire women who are lit up from the inside. When you're passionate about something, you radiate an energy that makes people want to be around you. That's the kind of energy that draws in a partner, not just for a season, but for the long run. Maintain your friendships and support circle. Don't make the mistake of isolating yourself from the people who love you the moment romance enters your life. True relationships, romantic or otherwise, are strengthened by your connection to others, not threatened by them. Keep investing in your friendships. Spend time with the people who remind you of who you are when love feels overwhelming. Let your circle of support ground you, challenge you, and celebrate with you. When your world is rich with connection, you don't put all the pressure on your romantic partner to meet every need, and that makes the relationship healthier, freer, and more joyful. Be emotionally self-sourced. This doesn't mean you can't be vulnerable or ask for support. But it does mean knowing how to regulate your own emotions, meet your own needs, and hold space for yourself without needing constant reassurance from someone else. A woman who can soothe herself, lift her own spirits, and keep herself inspired, that woman is rare. She becomes a partner, not a project. And that difference makes men show up with more presence, not less. Emotional maturity is not about being cold or distant. It's about being whole. And wholeness is magnetic. Let love complement, not consume. Real love isn't about losing yourself. It's about expanding into more of who you already are. The right relationship doesn't take away your freedom. It enhances your life, amplifies your joy, and adds depth to your already strong foundation. So don't aim to be the center of his world. And don't make him the center of yours. Instead, bring your full self to the table, your laughter, your ambition, your softness, your strength, and let the relationship be one beautiful part of a life that is already rich with meaning. In the end, you are the prize, not the pursuit. When a man sees that you're not waiting for him to complete your story, but simply inviting him to be part of it, that's when he starts to truly value your presence. Not because he has to, but because he knows that a woman like you doesn't revolve around anyone. She shines from her own center. And that light? It's impossible to ignore. Way number 7. Be his muse, not his mother. Inspire, don't instruct. There's a subtle but powerful difference between being a man's muse and being his mother, and the energy you bring into the relationship can shift that dynamic entirely. Many women, often unknowingly, step into the mother role, thinking they are being supportive, nurturing, or helpful. But over time, that energy stifles attraction rather than fuels it. Men don't fall in love with women who manage them. They fall for women who inspire them. A muse doesn't nag, fix, or micromanage. She evokes. She awakens something in him that makes him want to be better, not because she's correcting him, but because simply being around her reminds him of the man he wants to be. So, how do you embody that energy? How do you hold space for love and connection without slipping into a caretaking role that drains both of you? Let's dive into the art of being his muse, with grace, intention, and self-respect. Let go of the need to manage him. When you start telling a man what to do, how to do it, or when to do it, you shift the energy from romantic to parental. You may think you're helping, guiding, or improving him, but what he experiences is pressure, control, or inadequacy. Resist the urge to remind him of deadlines, fix his wardrobe, or restructure his routines. He doesn't need a life coach, he needs space to lead himself. And he won't learn to lead if you're always 2 steps ahead, holding the map. Let him figure things out. Let him make mistakes. Let him be responsible for his own growth. When you stop trying to shape him, he has room to rise, and you'll be surprised how often he does. Hold standards, not control. Being a muse doesn't mean tolerating behavior that falls short of your values. It means having clear standards, but expressing them with quiet confidence rather than correction. You don't have to say, "You need to treat me better." You simply act like a woman who won't stay where she's not respected, and you leave if the standard isn't met. That communicates far more than any lecture ever could. High-value women inspire change not through force, but through presence. A man will rise to the occasion when he feels that being with you is both a privilege and a reflection of the man he wants to be. Inspire with your own life. The muse doesn't lead by managing others. She leads by living. Her passion, her vision, her energy, it pulls people in. She's not obsessed with fixing a man. She's too busy creating, exploring, building, dreaming. When you're immersed in your own journey, your own art, your own growth, you become magnetic. You stop needing to direct his life because you're already deeply engaged with your own. This creates a dynamic of mutual inspiration, not dependency. And that is the foundation of real attraction, 2 people who enhance each other, not exhaust each other. Encourage, don't direct. If you want to support a man, do it with belief, not instruction. Say things like, "I believe in you," not, "Here's what you should do." Ask, "What do you think you'll try next?" instead of, "You should have done it this way." This approach creates emotional safety. It shows him that you respect his process. That you're there, but not hovering. That you trust his ability to lead, even if he stumbles along the way. A muse reflects his potential back to him, not with pressure, but with presence. Her belief ignites his ambition more than her advice ever could. Stay in your feminine energy. The more you step into a directive, managerial role, the more you step into masculine energy, and that disrupts the natural polarity between you. Feminine energy is about flow, not control. It's about trust, not tension. It's about expressing rather than instructing. Let him lead sometimes. Let him plan. Let him offer support. And receive it with grace. The more you soften into your feminine, the more you invite him into his masculine, and that dynamic creates spark, not stagnation. Don't take on emotional responsibility for him. It's not your job to regulate his moods, fix his stress, or heal his past. You can be supportive without absorbing. You can be compassionate without becoming his emotional caretaker. Set emotional boundaries with love. Encourage him to process his feelings, seek support, or take action, but don't carry his pain as if it were your own. A man will feel safe with you when he knows he can express himself, but also when he sees that you are grounded enough not to lose yourself in his waves. You are not his therapist. You are his mirror. Let him lead his own transformation. Every man is on his own path. You are not here to rescue or redirect him. You are here to walk beside him, with grace, strength, and dignity. If he chooses to rise, let it be because he was inspired by who you are, not pressured by who you want him to become. When a woman embodies the muse, she becomes unforgettable. Not because she fixed him, but because she reminded him of his highest self, simply by being in her presence. In the end, a man doesn't fall for the woman who makes his bed. He falls for the woman who makes him dream. Be the muse. Be the mystery. Be the fire that warms, not the hand that scolds. Your role is not to shape him, it's to shine so brightly in your own life that he wants to meet you at that level. Because that's where real love lives, not in control, but in co-creation. Conclusion. At the heart of it all, the most powerful thing you can do to attract the right man is to live fully, deeply, and unapologetically as yourself. These 7 ways are not tricks or strategies. They are reminders that the woman who truly captivates isn't chasing love. She's creating a life so rich, so magnetic, that love is drawn to her. Know your worth. Let your energy speak before you ever say a word. Take care of yourself, not to impress, but because you respect who you are. Let him lead, let the connection breathe, and hold conversations that spark curiosity, not just chemistry. Live a life that doesn't depend on him, but welcomes him in. And when you do, you stop being someone who tries to be chosen. You become someone who inspires pursuit. Most of all, don't confuse love with caretaking. You are not here to mother him, manage him, or mold him. You are here to inspire, to reflect his highest self back to him while fiercely honoring your own. A woman like that doesn't chase. She attracts, effortlessly, gracefully, and without ever losing herself in the process. So take a breath, stand tall in who you are, and remember this: you don't need to try too hard. You only need to be, and the right man will feel it. Thank you for watching today's video. I'm so excited to share my lessons about love and relationships with you. I hope you learned something new and can apply it to your life. If you find the video useful, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next videos. Thank you for always accompanying and supporting me. Have a great day and don't forget to love yourself a lot.